Alright, I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Racha Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. I don't have anything in particular. Spirit just armed me to go live, so I decided, to do that. I just wanted to go outside. It's a nice day out here. I mean, we're still in February, but pretty much winter is just about pretty much done. We're in the beginning, pretty much the beginning of spring. The reason why people feel that we go off when we keep the Passover around this time is because they still have that Western mentality in their mind, and their whole thought pattern and process is all set up through the indoctrination of television and the things that they see here in America and the things that they tell them here in America. Their minds are not open, and their minds are not open to the truth, because the Lord didn't open up their mind to the truth, and it's crazy because I just got here no more than 5 minutes ago. And as soon as I'm setting up, this simple-minded clown comes up blasting his music, and he parked right. This decent-sized park. It ain't real big, but it's a decent-sized park. And out of all the places he could have parked, he parked right here where I'm going live. Hey, be it as it may, that just shows you that them demons, they constantly just fuck with us no matter what, whether it be in your dreams or whether it be in our dreams, whether it be whether it be through these different people out here, but it's cool, because we understand that's a part of being in this truth. See, when you understand what you're going through, it makes it a little easier to deal with, let me see. I'm looking for this one particular scripture. Just bear with me 1 second. When you're on the seat, the thing about Jake out here, they go through things, but they have nothing to balance them out, because they don't understand what's going on in the world today. They don't understand about the truth. This is Proverbs 16:32. It says, "He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh the city." And that's good, but that's not really the one I was looking for. I was looking for the one, I believe it's in Proverbs, where it says, "He that is slow to anger is of great understanding." I believe that's how it goes. I'm gonna see if I can pull that up. Just bear with me 1 second. I mean, I'm telling you, this stuff here, you can't make this stuff up. I'm telling you, brothers. As soon as I opened up the tripod and started setting my phone up, this guy pulled right up with that damn music blasting. But that's all right though. That's okay, because the show must go on. Proverbs 14:29. "He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly." Because, see, the people of the world don't have the understanding of the truth because they are not part of the elect. That's why Yahweh told them, they speak of the world, therefore the world heareth them. The world is going to reject what we're saying because we're not speaking, our words. We're speaking the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and that's why they get so irate and angry. And what it is really is just spirits that's stirred up in these people. These people really, when you really get down to the nuts and bolts of it, these people, hey, see, the spirit moved them out of here. He just drove off. See how the spirit works, baby? But these people out here, they have no clue or no understanding of what's going on. The nuts and bolts of this truth pretty much through the understanding of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you know, is that these people, you either, it's just like the movie Matrix, you either are awoke and a part of gathering Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's elect, or you're asleep and you're against it and you're about scattering, like Yahushai said, he that gathereth not with me scattereth abroad. You know, so when we look at the world is asleep because the Lord never woke their minds up to understand the truth. So right now, the people that are not awoke, they're subject to them spirits using their vessels to do mischief, you know, and that's the reason why they do it. And that is part of the understanding of this truth, that not everything's not always going to run easy. Everything's not always going to run the way we want it to run, but it's because them spirits are against us. And we're not fighting or wrestling against flesh and blood, because when you wrestle against flesh and blood, it's either one or two outcomes. You're either going to win or you're going to lose, you know, but there's going to be an outcome after that. But when you're wrestling with these spirits, it's a mental thing. It's a spiritual thing, you know, and you have to overcome it with your mind and not physically, you know. It's Ephesians 6 and 10. It says, finally, by the way, shalom to you, Akim, that are watching. You know, it says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. What is the power of the Lord's might? His word. So the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that's powerful. That's where the might stands. That's where our stronghold stands. And it begins with the name of Yahweh and the name of Yahushai. You know, that's what the scripture said. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. But these other clowns, they don't run into the name of the Lord, because they're not going to be protected, because the name of the Lord has no place in them, you know. So it says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Why? Because our warfare is spiritual. You know, Lord's will I can get that if I remember. Let me see. I got another. Let me just pull it up here, just so I won't forget. And I'm gonna pull the book out too, so that way I can have 3 different sources of doing this. Let's see, 2 Corinthians 10. All right, got that on deck. We'll get the actual sword too. So we got 3. All right, Ephesians 6 and 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. The power of the Lord's might are these words, you know, and you see it happen. You know, when you call on these names, you know, and you're not wavering, you know, you see things happening in the spirit, you know. And then there's times when you fervent and nothing happens right away, but it takes time, because the Lord will try each man according as his faith is. It says, and he won't put more on any of us that we can handle. It says, put on the whole armor of the Most High. What is the armor of the Lord? This truth. Wait a minute. Hold it. Wait a minute. Hold it. Wait a minute. I must be allowed to read. This is Isaiah 33 and 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So this wisdom and this knowledge, this is the armor of the Lord. You know, this is what's going to bring salvation. The script, let me get one more. This is the book of James. The book of James, chapter 1 and verse 21. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness. That's dealing with the flesh. And receive with meekness, with lowliness of mind, the engrafted word, which is this truth, which is able to save your souls. So this word is able to save our souls. This is where our power lies. You know, this is our power right here. This is our armor. You know, when we come out of that and do different, then the Lord withdraws. You know, let me see, Romans. That's the book of Romans, the 8th chapter and the 6th verse. It says, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. It says, because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. So through Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we have conquered this world because the Lord chose us or gave us the understanding of his words, you know, to be able to combat the things of this world. There was a precept that just came to mind, but it's eluding me right now. If the Spirit brings it back, then I'll bring it out to you, brothers. But it was a bad precept too, but it just came and went. So let me read that again. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. You know, so this is where our power lies. That's why we have to always reflect back to the scriptures. In whatever situation we may find ourselves in, we always have to reflect back to what the scriptures say, because that is where we get our power from. Now, don't get me wrong, being in the flesh, sometimes, you know, you tend to try to go the carnal route, but we have to curve that and we have to dead that, you know? Like the scriptures say, mortify therefore the deeds of the flesh, you know? So still being in the flesh, we're going to go off, but our goal is to be perfect as the Lord is perfect, because the Lord requires perfection of us, and we're trying to be perfect in a fallible body, in a faulty body, you know. So the Lord sees that, and as long as you're fighting, the Lord digs that. The Most High said He's a man of war, so the Lord loves war. So when you're fighting, the Lord loves that, you know. So if we fight to try to do the right thing, the Lord sees that and He will reward us, you know. Like this clown over here pulled up. My spirit was grieved that he pulled up, but I didn't say anything. I just said, you know what? I hit the button, you know, and then the thing went live, and not even maybe 5 minutes later, the devil drove off. But that was just Satan trying to anger me and trying to discourage me, so that I would say, you know what? I'm not gonna go live. I'm just gonna do whatever else I was gonna do. But nah, see, so we have to fight. So the Lord wants that fight, and then things will turn out better. At first it's going to be bumpy and rocky, but afterwards you'll start to see it go smoothly, and it's beautiful out here, man. I feel that sun, you know, upon me, and it feels wonderful. All right, so going back to Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So this is our armor. This is our forte. This is what will protect us in these days. People talking about, oh, that's just a book, it's written by man, this, that, and the other. Well, this is what the Lord gave us to protect us in this time. This is our armor. This is our shield. This is our helmet. These are them boots that you go to war with. You know, this is that Kevlar and that bulletproof vest. You know, and all of these things that are happening in the world that people do, you know, and act up on. Those are the bullets. Those are the darts. You know, those are the spiritual lances and spears and missiles that are being shot at us, and we have to deflect it with the scriptures. You know. This is what deflects all of that stuff, you know. But now, do we always get it right? No, we're not perfect, but we have to apply it more and more. And as the day comes closer and closer, we have to get stronger and stronger in this thing and be able to deflect those demonic spirits by the truth, you know, because they're coming and they're gonna keep coming, you know, and it's getting more intense. Matter of fact, before I read on in Ephesians. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12, it says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth, meaning the whole entire planet, and of the sea, even in the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. He knows that this devil, these international bankers, Esau, these Edomites, they know that that this truth is a threat to their new so-called new world order. That this truth is a threat to their existence, to their rulership, you know. So they're coming down with great wrath. And those spirits that you see that's jumping on these people to fuck with us, they're doing that because they work for Satan, you know, which Satan works for the Most High. And it's just a thing, it's just a thing to try to discourage us from teaching the word and from staying on the course. You know, like the saying says, stay the course. Well, that's part of staying the course. It's battling these spirits. And that's the hardest part in this truth. It's battling them spirits, whether it be spirits fucking with you, trying you, pushing your buttons, you know, trying to put thoughts in your mind that this is not the truth, that the Muslims have the truth, or the Jehovah's Witness have the truth, or whatever demon, you know, comes to try to fuck with you in that manner. So these are all parts of that fight. You know, this is a warfare. You know, I wish I had a phone right now that I could go online, and if you brothers don't mind, if you could look up the word warfare on Google and then post it up. You know, this is a warfare, to see what it says for the word warfare. This is a warfare. And I know, if I'm not mistaken, that word warfare is in the scriptures in the book of Luke 14. Let me see if I can find it first. Luke, let me just get Luke 14 real quick. And then let me read this real quick. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. So that's what Satan's job is, to devour the righteous, because he already got the wicked. He don't got to do nothing to them. You know, all he got to do is continue to bless them and they straight. But with the righteous, the elect, his job is to try to break the elect, like he tried to break Job, but he couldn't. And in a sense, we all represent Job. Job is a representation of the elect, of how hard it's going to, the walk in this truth is going to be, and how if we hold our integrity, we're going to be rewarded openly on the other end of it, just like Job was rewarded. And you see the patience of Job, and you see what the Lord gave Job, you know, for enduring those things. You know, and that's a beautiful thing, man. And we have beautiful examples in the scriptures of great men that held their integrity even when it seemed like all hope was lost. And when they held their integrity and it seemed like all hope was lost, then out of nowhere this great miracle came and delivered them. That's beautiful. That's great. You know, that's something to rejoice about. That's something to be confident in. That's something to be comforted in, you know, as I already said, you know, because this is a beautiful thing, man. You know, like the scripture said, I believe it said that against hope, like the even Abraham, when the Lord told him he was going to have a son, Abraham didn't say, nah, Lord, you going off, you know, I'm 100 years old, how the hell, I'm 99 years old, how the hell I'm gonna have a child at this old age, you know, because they have old saying, you know, joking around that, you know, when you old like that, when you shoot the sperm, it's just dust, you know. I mean, you know, it's just jokes, you know. But the Lord, with the Lord, all things are possible. So against hope, you know, he believed in the Lord, and the Lord delivered him. You know. Let's see. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm not sure if it says warfare or who goeth to war, you know, at their own expense. All right. Just bear with me 1 second, brothers. Okay. Woo, here we go. 1 Corinthians 9:7. Who goeth a warfare any time at his own charges? See? Who planted the vineyard and eateth not of the fruit thereof? Or who feedeth the flock and eateth not of the milk of the flock? So this is a warfare. You know, we're battling in this truth, and it's a war. It's a spiritual battle, you know, and that spiritual battle, the main weapon that we have is the scriptures, the truth. You know, I'm just trying to see if I could go offline. This other app that I have here, I'm not sure if it's gonna work offline, but what was that? 2 Corinthians 9 and 7. Or was it 1 Corinthians? 1 Corinthians 9 and 7. Just bear with me 1 second, brothers. 1 Corinthians 9 and 7. Who goeth a warfare? The word warfare is the Greek G754, and I don't think it's gonna let me go to it. Yeah, it's not going. So if you brothers get a chance, if you could post that up, 1 Corinthians 9 and 7, the word for warfare. And I think a brother put the definition for warfare, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, here we go. A bunch of brothers put it up. It says, GMS soldier for Yahushua. Synonyms: fighting, war, combat, conflict, military action, hostilities, more bloodshed, battles, skirmishes, death match, nuclear war, nuclear warfare. Neither side seems ready to end this warfare. Engagement in or the activities involved in war or conflict, guerrilla warfare. Synonyms: fighting, war, combat, conflict, military action, hostility, more bloodshed, battle, skirmishes. And then if the brother that put up GMS Yapar Muff Chicago, if you could put up the word for warfare in the Greek, that would be beautiful if you can. If not, if somebody could post that up. And then when you read that, you have victors, in the warfare. You have casualties of war. You have the super elite, like you have the Green Berets and the Navy SEALs and things of that, and the Marines. You have top-notch warrior fighters out there. So it's the same thing with the truth. There's different levels. Salakia. There's different levels in this knowledge, and the Lord is equipping each brother with the necessary tools that they need to stand in this spiritual war that we're fighting. Matter of fact, since I said that, and you have these false prophets out there that are not doing that. Ezekiel 13 and 3. Thus saith the Lord power, woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit and have seen nothing. O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the deserts. You have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord. And what's the day of the battle of the day? What's that day? It's talking about when all hell breaks loose and you have all these different calamities coming down upon Jacob's trouble, and a lot of these Israelites out here that call themselves Israelites are not going to be prepared because their leaders are playing around. Their leaders are playing games. The brother Irisha original Stratuomai transliteration, transliteration. It says middle voice from the base of G, outline of biblical usage too. We getting there. So they haven't made up the hedge for Israel to stand, make a military expedition to lead soldiers to war, to battle, spoken of a commander to do military duty, be on active service, be a soldier to fight. So pretty much, the water brothers, pretty much it's a war, it's a battle. And that's what we're fighting. We're fighting a spiritual war and a spiritual battle, which we got to go back to Ephesians after I read this one more time. Going back to Ephesians, the 6th chapter. So Ezekiel 13 and 5, you have not gone up into the gaps. And the precept for gaps says, or breaches. Because the house of David is broken down, but it's being built up now. And these other leaders that call themselves Israelites are not of the house of David, because if they were of the house of David, they would be building the house of David. They would be pushing the name of the Lord strong and heavy, you know? And they're not. They're teaching their congregation to be slothful. They're teaching their congregation to be dumbed down. They're teaching their congregation to buckle up and to get in the trenches and sit there for the long haul, you know? No, that's the wrong attitude. They're teaching their congregation that you can call the Lord whatever you want to call him. No, man. The Lord already gave the names. You know, it's already in there. It's already in the scriptures. You got guys that want to change the name. You got guys that want to deny the name. So the Lord's going to deny them when that time comes, man. Neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord. All right, so now let's go from there back to Ephesians 6. And I have to start at 10 again because that's bad. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And the wiles of the devil are the trickery. That's that trickery of the devil. Meaning he's going to come at you with all different angles. He's going to come at you with seducing spirits to change the doctrine. He's going to give you a bugged out understanding on certain things, and you're going to fall for it. Some guys are going to fall for it and think that they're doing the right thing. And if you don't, and instead of when they get corrected, go back and reflect, say, damn, shit, fuck. I mean, I was going off, you know, Salakia. They get mad at you, and they start a smear campaign against you because you ain't riding with their bullshit, you know. So they want to change things because they want to be the man. They want to be the top dog. Look, man, you don't want to be in that top position, man. The Lord said the judgment is going to start with the ancients, you know. That's the worst place you want to be at, you know. You'd rather be, you know, among the lowly, so to speak, you know, and hope for mercy, man. And these guys that want that top position, that want that recognition, they really don't understand what this truth is all about, man. You know? It says, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And that's what we're doing. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Because if we wrestled against flesh and blood, it would be easy. Because flesh and blood, is, like I said, it's going to be two outcomes. You know, either you're going to win or you're going to lose. And that's that. And afterwards, whoever loses could go in the corner and lick their wounds until they get healed. And after that, that's it. It's done. But when you're battling spiritually, it's harder because it's a mental thing. And being that we're in the flesh, we want to get carnal. And that's where the struggle comes between the flesh and the spirit. You know, it's a constant back and forth, you know, of knowing to do the right thing, wanting to do the right thing, but end up doing the wrong thing. You know, fighting against the flesh. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. Principalities, man, those are top level demons, man. We're fighting against top level demons, man. These principalities were there from the beginning. So they're top level demons that are coming down, you know, and fucking with us, because this world was given unto them to rule and to cause havoc and destruction. That's why them demons told Yahushua, are you come to torment us before our time? You know, because there was a certain amount of time that was given to them, you know, to rule. You know? What the hell is this? Oh, it's a concordance. Okay. I thought I had the dictionary in here. Yeah, so that's what we fight. We're fighting against these top level demons, man. And they're coming hard, and they're coming steady, and they don't take coffee breaks because they don't need to. You know, because they're in the spirit world, you know. So we have to sleep, we have to eat, you know. Our minds get weary, you know, but we still have to battle, and that's part of this military that the Lord, the spiritual military that the Lord is building. You know, He's building the tabernacles of David, you know, and that's why the scriptures say this exceeding great army that is spoke of in the book of Revelation, in the book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. Is talking about the spiritual army of the Lord, you know, which consists of His prophets, apostles, you know, teachers, you know, governments, and different things of that nature that consist of making that body underneath Yahushua. Right? So it says, verse 12, Ephesians 6 and 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. So they're working in the shadows, man. You know, the rulers of the darkness of this world, which are these demons, are infested and habitating the vessels of these international bankers, these Edomites, because their whole vibration is on the left-hand side. So that's what we're fighting against. They constantly saying prayers against us, you know, asking the Lord to destroy us. Look at what the wickedness that they're doing. This is back in Revelation 12 and 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before the Most High day and night. Because they're praying to the Lord day and night because they want their birthright back. And they can't get the birthright because the birthright belongs to us anyway. So the Lord made it go down that way to show the power of the Lord, man. Where Esau was supposed to get the birthright because he was the firstborn, but the Lord already had set it up for Jacob to get that birthright. And they can't get that birthright back because that birthright never belonged to them. When you look at it spiritually, going back to Ephesians 6 and 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So we're fighting demons in high places. We're not fighting just regular people. The way them people come at you is just, if you really stop and look at it spiritually, you can see the demons popping and oozing and sizzling off of these people, man. Just like popcorn. When you hear popcorn, pop, pop, pss, pop, 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 pss. That's how them demons are dancing inside these people. You gotta think of some kernels of popcorn with some butter, and you got it on the stove, and it's starting to heat up, and the kernels starting to pop and flake and ooze, pop, pop, pop. That's how them demons are popping off in these people, man. They're sliding and dancing, you know, and using their vessels because they don't have a stronghold. They don't have a foundation. They don't have a stability. They don't have a root. They don't have a ground to keep them grounded. And that's why them demons use their vessels to fuck with us. And then sometimes you get you want to kick the person's ass, but it's not them, it's them demons. And then when the person walks away, they be like, damn it, why the fuck did I do that? That ain't right. But it's them demons that's using those vessels out there, you know? Just like that movie, was it Fallen? With Denzel Washington, where them demons would jump from one person to the other. No, that's you have to understand that, you know, to be able to deal with it. That's what the scriptures say, he that is of great understanding is slow to anger, because you understand. I mean, you still get mad, but you're able to control that anger. You're able to rule that anger, baby. And sometimes it's not an easy thing to do, you know, because the flesh is terrible, man. The flesh is through, man. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High. And what is that? That's this knowledge. You know, you have your faith scriptures. You have salvation scriptures. You have scriptures like this that build up your spirit to be able to fight. You have weapon scriptures, you know, to build up your spiritual arsenal, so to speak. You know, then you have the history. You have prophecy. You know, you have laws, statutes, commandments. Have different things to be armed with, you know. And that helps in this fight and in this battle. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, not a part of it, not just the sweet parts of it. You got to take the bitter parts of it too, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day. And that evil day is coming, and having done all to stand. You know, because at the end of the day, we're doing the best that we can with what we've been given. And then when the Lord comes back, you know, Abba Ratazah, which is Father will, you know, we did all that we could do to stand. You know, stand therefore having your loins girded about with truth. And what's the loins girded about with truth? Meaning our minds. Did not Yahweh Shai say that to the disciples? What was that? Was that Matthew, the 12th chapter? And Salaka, you know, the sun is kind of beating on my face, so I know brothers putting up a lot of good scriptures, but I'm not able to really read them off the camera right now or off the phone. Just bear with me 1 second. I know there's one in Luke. There's one also in Matthew. Let me see if I can find the one in Luke real quick. If not, we'll move on. Luke 12 and 34. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So if your treasure is in the truth and really about getting out of here and about salvation, that's where your heart is going to be. And the scriptures also say a man's speech tells what's in his heart. I can't think of the exact quote, but it's something along those lines, you know. So from what a man speaks of, that's how you know what's really in his heart. It says, let your loins be girded about and your lights burning, meaning our minds are supposed to be girded with what? With this truth. And our lights burning, meaning this truth is supposed to be beaming out of us. It says, and ye yourselves like unto men that wait for the Lord, for their Lord, when he will return from the wedding, and when he cometh and knocketh, they may open unto him immediately. You know, so that's what we're waiting for the Lord to come back to deliver us, man. And we know the signs to look for because the Lord opened our eyes to see it. It says, blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you, that they shall gird himself, it says, and make them to sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them. And if he shall come in the second watch, or come in the third watch, and find them so, blessed are those servants. And know this, that if the good man of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not have suffered his house to be broken through. Be ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour when you think not. You know, so that's why we have to be ready at all times. All right, and part of it is putting on this armor. It says, Ephesians 6:14, stand therefore having your loins girded about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. So wherever we go, we have to be ready, you know, and have pretty much walk the walk. Don't just talk the talk, walk the walk, you know. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. So how do we fight them demonic thoughts that come into our mind that try to tell us different things? Hit them with scriptures. Yahushua fought Satan with the scriptures. So that is our greatest example. So we should follow our greatest example. And that's our greatest example. You know, they try to get you to come against a brother and say, well, thou shalt think no evil in thy heart against thy neighbor. You know, and things of that nature. You know, and that's how you combat them demons. And then rebuke them in the spirit, in the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. It says, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High. So this word here, that's the sword. You know, that's our sword. That's what we do battle with. Matter of fact, before I read on, let me go back here. This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10. And 3, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahushai, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. You know, so pretty much that's our job, you know, to defend the gospel. Now, when it comes, years ago, we used to be on the comment board with guys going back, you know, 8 hours, 10 hours, 5 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours on the comment board, going back and forth for them 2-3 days a week, 2 weeks. We ain't in that time anymore. You know, this one guy came on the comment board talking shit, you know, with his bullshit, what he thought, what he knew. I hit him with one point. He bucked up against it, brought up another scripture. I hit him with another scripture. He bucked up, brought up something else, and I hit him with last scripture. I said, this is your last chance. And I hit him with one scripture, and he came back with some more BS. I said, goodbye. And he said, okay, have a good day. I'm not going to go sit there with a guy battling with this guy for hours anymore. You know, we're at the point now that the Lord said he will make us of quick understanding. If you don't get it, you know, it's one thing to have a question, you know, and be sincere. But it's another thing to come in and thinking that you're going to teach something. No, you ain't teaching shit. The word is already taught. The doctrine is already out. You either listen or you take your ass down the street. And it's just that simple. You could jump on the internet highway and go somewhere else. You know? Salakia. We're not gonna waste our time, man. The closer we get to this, the Lord is sealing his men like that. You know? It don't take, you know, 3, 4, 5 weeks, you know, for you to understand. When Yahushua came to the disciples, they believed the Lord right away, and they followed him right away. He didn't have to sit there and reason with them out the scriptures for them to understand that he was the Lord. The Most High himself gave it to them. I'm not going to waste my time sitting there with a clown for hours when I could be doing something else. Ephesians 6:17, and take the helmet of salvation. Now, if it's a sincere brother and he really wants to learn and he's asking good questions, I will sit there for hours with him and try to get him, you know, give him whatever I can to help him out. But just to go back and forth with a scoffer, nah, I'm not doing it. Unless the Spirit wants me to do that. But me personally, I don't want to do that. I don't want to waste my time doing that. Ephesians 6:17, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit. And that's what we're supposed to be doing, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit. Because sometimes we'll pray to the Lord, our prayers are out of our mind, and then sometimes we may read scriptures and may remind the Lord about certain things, which he already knows, but he said put them in remembrance, you know. And sometimes you may read precepts, you know, and say, Lord, how long are you going to leave us in this condition? You know? It says, and for me that utterance may be given unto me. And we have to pray for each other that the Lord give us utterance and open up our mouths boldly to make his words known. It says, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints, and for me that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. But that you also may know my affairs and how I do. Tychicus, a beloved brother and faithful minister in the Lord, shall make known to you all things. You know, so pretty much that was it. Like I said, I didn't really have a topic, but the Spirit, you know, brought it out. You know, we have to be prepared, mentally prepared for what's coming. You know, we have to gird up, you know, the loins of our mind. You know, we have to put into effect the things that we're learning and put it into action. You know, when we're faced with certain situations, reflect back on the scriptures. You know, fight these spirits off with the scriptures. You know, keep in mind that we're not fighting when you see your woman acting up, or you see clowns in the street acting up, or you see your mother, or people at the job, or people, you know, when you're just driving, they'll cut you off and then look at you, dare you to do something. We gotta remember that those are them spirits jumping on those people to fuck with us. You know, it has nothing to do with them having a beef with us or nothing like that. It's just them demons, and you can see it if you look at it spiritually. You know, so with that, you know, our brothers, I hope you brothers have been edified. Until the next time I say shalom.